Imagine living in the midst of a war-torn country that is overtaken by a newly founded communist government. Imagine life in this country is riddled with political oppression and social problems, including a broken education system embedded with propaganda and soldiers ready to seize your home at any given moment. You have 6 small children, and you are 7 months pregnant. If you stayed in this country, you believe they will have no future. Would you uproot your family, facing life or death for freedom, in a land full of promises, known as the United States of America? After the fall of Saigon in 1975, over 2 million Vietnamese fled their country. Up to 800,000 of these refugees escaped by sea. Many of the immigrants failed to survive the passage, drowning or attacked by pirates and murdered or sold into slavery and prostitution. It is estimated that at least 500,000 died. This is my family's story. On the late night of November 24th, 1981, a total of 71 refugees, men, women, and children, including my family, close relatives, and those who purchased a spot on the boat, secretly stole away, hiking for 5 miles before reaching the shoreline. When they arrived at moon-glistened water, an old wooden boat, the size of a school bus, barely seaworthy, was anchored a quarter of a mile away, waiting to disembark. As they started swimming out to board, Vietnamese soldiers guarding the lighthouse discovered the escapees. Within minutes, the night lit up with the bullets firing towards the shadow in the water. Through their screams, miraculously, the light from the lighthouse could not turn on, from what my mother could hear the soldiers arguing in the distance. Astonishingly, only the boat captain's arm was grazed by bullets, and all 71 lives clambered onto the boat. They casted their fate to the sea for 5 days and 4 nights, fighting Category 4 Super Typhoon Irma, dehydration, and starvation. On the 5th day, the weather boat was rescued by an American commercial ship, and they were brought to the United Nations refugee camp in Kuku, Indonesia, where my mother gave birth to a baby boy and named him Ben, which in Vietnamese means peace. After 3 months, my family was transferred to Galang and stayed as a way station to acquire political asylum. They provided the UN High Commissioner with documentation of my dad's enlistment training with the U.S. Army. My family was granted approval and immigrated to the United States, landing in Atlanta, Georgia, on November 1982. Arriving here, my family faced the same obstacles as other immigrants, struggling to learn a new language and gaining an economic foothold. I was born in 1983, the Welcome to America baby. We celebrated birthdays, Christmas, and went to church every Sunday and listened to rock and roll. My father earned an associate's degree as a medical assistant. My mother went on to be a beautician. They witnessed their children graduate and live the American dream. My parents changed our family legacy forever and added a new chapter to the American success story. My mother was my age when she had me at 33 years old. I hope my family's story will ignite further compassion for what's happening around the world today, especially with the Syrian refugee crisis. With civil unrest, it strips away hope and dignity. It takes courage and sacrifice for one to make such a heroic decision to risk not only one's own life, but the life of their own children. Even if that journey means traveling on a boat and facing life or death at sea in search for peace and freedom.